Here's today's First Word Daily Devotion.
Continuing the theme from yesterday, in today's reading on July the 17th, we learn about relating with others. And as you read 1 Chronicles 26 through 27, remember this, keep this in mind. Leaders put people in place to ensure what needs doing gets done. But notice the purpose. David, remember, he's shepherding. He's called to shepherd the people. That's the reason God appointed him. He was to look after the needs of others, as opposed to Saul, who looked after his own needs. Here David is shepherding the people. He's directly putting the needs of his people first. And as it relates to that, look at Romans chapter 12. Look at verse 9. And here we have an ethic that leads to a people's success. Listen to it. Let love be genuine. Abhor what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing affection, in showing honor. Do not be slothful in zeal. Be fervent in spirit. Serve the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints and seek to show hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Aren't these words hard? Bless and do not curse them. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight. Repay no one evil for evil. Give thought to what is honorable in the sight of all. And then here's the principle. Listen. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Now, oftentimes when we hear all that Paul has written there in Romans chapter 12, we get to that last verse in verse 18, and we sort of give up. We don't really live through the principles of the first few verses. We just get to verse 18 and throw a blanket over whatever we've done, and we say, well, I did all I could to live peaceably, and there's nothing else for me to do. Well, the verse keeps going. The Bible keeps going. Listen, if you've done all that you can do to live peaceably with all, well then apply the next verse to your situation. Never avenge yourself, beloved. Leave it to the wrath of God. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Now, let's balance things. Remember our Old Testament reading. Remember what we've seen David. David is leading with the people's needs in mind. That doesn't mean that the shepherd doesn't have to fight off wolves. That's not what it means. But it means that our good is not seeking our benefit, but it's seeking the benefit of what's right, standing for truth. And that stance for truth always means the good of others. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. And then keep going. Never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of God. Vengeance is mine, I will repay. To the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink. For so by doing, look at the twist, so by doing, you will heap burning coals on his head. And then here's the principle by which we live by. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Now let's look at Psalm 16, continuing our theme of others. And remember this, a lover of God will love God's people. Look at verse 1. Preserve me, O God, for in you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. I have no good apart from you. Now, look at what happens next. As for the saints of the land, they are the excellent ones, in whom is all my delight. Now, do you delight in the saints? Is that your delight? Do you make it your regular habit to hang with those who are saints, to be in fellowship with one another, to relate with those that are saints, to do life together, in the words of Bonhoeffer, to do life together with those saints? Well, you will if you can say verse 3, as for the saints, they are the excellent ones, in whom I delight. Now look at verse 11. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand there are pleasures forevermore. And that is how we live. We live not at our pleasure, we live not at the pleasure of others, but we live at the Lord's good pleasure. And what do we know about the Lord? Well, this good God considers us. We consider Him. We consider others. And we're happy and satisfied. Speaking of relating to one another, it's important to always look at the Proverbs when we think about how to relate with one another. Look at Proverbs 19:20 and 21. Listen to advice, accept instruction. I know that may be hard for some of you, but it is written. Let me say it again. Listen to advice, accept instruction, that you may gain wisdom in the future. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. And that truth, these truths, humble us and keep us focused so that we may do the main thing. And what's the main thing? To seek the glory of God and the good of others. Let love be genuine, abhor what is evil, hold fast to what is good, love one another with brotherly affection, outdo one another in showing, what's this word? Honor.